We head up to Ghana now. We check the reports, but I'll just let you know that President Nana Akufo-Addo has just been declared the winner of the Ghana presidential election, having secured more than 50% of the total ballots cast. His main challenger and former president, John Mahama, was able to garner just over 47% of the votes. So Rice correspondent Tokunbo Oyetunji has been covering these elections right there in Accra, Ghana. He sent in the following report after the winner was announced yesterday. We'll take this over right back.
And the city of Accra erupts in wild jubilation following the declaration of the NPP candidate, incumbent President Nana Akufo-Addo, as the winner of Ghana's presidential election by the Electoral Commission in the country a few moments ago. The supporters have trooped to the street, and one of them is just coming to me to tell me how excited.
I'm in Ghana.
What does this victory mean to you?
Yeah, I know like for much. I'm Ghanaian. I'm
What does this victory mean to you?
It means a great thing to me. I am so happy. I don't even know how to express myself.
And what are you expecting moving forward from the newly elected president?
I am expecting more from Nana Akufo-Addo, because whatever he has done 4 years ago means he can do more for Ghanaians. So we should expect nothing but the best from Nana Akufo-Addo. That is what I can say.
Do you want to tell me what you are what is going on in your mind now that your candidate has won?
I'm so happy because as a single mother, I don't have someone who supports my children. And now my child go for free SHS and free university. I'm so happy because he's coming to do more. He has reduced the stress of mothers. We are so happy. Thank him so much. God richly bless.
I'm so excited.
I'm totally excited.
We are excited.
We are going to do it 4 and do it 2024 again.
We're going to give them 4 more. They should give us 4 more years. We want to do more for them. Nana has done so marvelously well in the past 4 years. We just asked them to give us 4 more. And trust me, the next 4 is going to be bigger than before.
So what does this victory represent to you as a Ghanaian, especially?
As a Ghanaian, it makes me proud. It makes me know that when one has a zeal to do something, you can do it. When you look forward to doing something, you should be able to do it and you can do it. It's giving us the encouragement that when you set your eyes on something, you're going to do it and you'll do it better.
The man on the car, I see you're sweating all over because your candidate that you voted for has won this election. Tell me, what is going on in your mind right now?
I am so excited, so happy, and so proud to be a Ghanaian, voting for my president, Nana Akufo-Addo, the one and only president who can do Ghana better. No one apart from Akufo-Addo. And the next person that will come 2024 is going to rise Ghana to the highest top. So everybody should watch out for MPP. This year and the years coming, it is our year. It is a good life. It's a good life.
Feel okay. I think that Nana will do better. He will do more. More to do more. He can do more.
So
he can do everything more.
So you think there are better days?
Yes, it's better for me. It's better for me.
Supporters, excited supporters who have trooped to the street across the city, the length and breadth of the city of Accra, celebrating the victory of their candidate who they came out to elect on Monday, 48 hours after he has been declared winner of that election. And the excitement is turbocharged, like we see all across the city.
We are so excited.
It is not the same in the camp of the opposition party, where some of the supporters have been out protesting the result. But for these people, the celebration goes very deep into the night and even to the next day as they continue to celebrate the victory, the victory of their candidate, incumbent President Addo, in the just concluded election. Tokunbo Oyetunji, Arise News, Accra.
Right. That report was sent in by a man, Arise correspondent Tokunbo Oyetunji on ground. Well, before we get to our next guest, it has to be noted that it took the election management body in Ghana less than 3 days to conduct the presidential election, be able with all the emergent issues and to be able to deliver a fairly successful electoral exercise. It It was not a perfect exercise, according to news reports. There were pockets of violence in places, coupled with scattered instances of ballot box snatching and other electoral malfeasance. However, analysts have been quick to give credit to Ghana for once again coming through as a shining light of African democracy. The question gets asked again, what lessons exactly can we learn from Nigeria learn from its neighbors as it limbers up to the 2023 general election? So join us now, take a look at all this election matter and talk, as well as possible lessons to be drawn from it. Is Paul Ejime, a journalist and international affairs expert. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Paul Ejime. I mean, the first question will be about lessons. The first question will also be about the fact that this election has been greatly disputed by the camp of John Mahama. And for the first time, I'm not going to say for the first time, but in these elections, we saw violence. We saw the use of the military. We saw shootings in Ejime, for instance, Ejime South. We saw an inconclusive elections because Jean Mensa did say there were some constituencies that the results had not come in, but even if they had merged the results, the margin will not still be up to the margin of leading. That's why she called the election. So as far as we are concerned, that election is still sort of inconclusive. And this is the first of its kind for Ghana. What's your take on all of these issues?
Thank you, my brother, and then Ruben there, plus my sister.
Good to see you.
Well, you captured it. It is a victory that masks some challenges. For instance, unlike in 2016, when the incumbent president won by about 1 million votes, this time it was half, about 500,000. And then you also mentioned the downside, violence. About at least police confirmed that 5 people were killed in the election violence. The Electoral Commission had also boasted that the result would be announced in 24 hours. Well, they couldn't make that. I think, well, even with 48 hours, I think by African standard is still an improvement. So the fact that the opposition could took some parliamentary seats from the sitting government says a lot that the victory, if you were to say, is diluted by all these factors. But there is still, something to learn. For instance, remember that it was conducted during a pandemic. They managed to see that through with all the challenges. And then the fact that they had to reach areas where assessed, results came from there, voting took place and results came from there, riverine areas. And, the military assisted, the Air Force, with choppers to carry the sensitive materials, and then also the Navy also assisted. And then in the transmission of results, that is another issue. They did not use figures. It was using the old system, fax. You have to take pictures, use internet to send, so that there was no issue of somebody sending a wrong figure. So that is these are some of the takeaways. But at the same time, I think it's a mixed bag. With this violence that we have seen, it's quite unlike Ghana, which boasts that it holds the torch for a democratic consolidation in Africa. So these are the issues. Remember, from the 31 or so million people, 17 million were registered. About 13 million voted, which is a high number, about 78 or 79% turnout rate. So that is this is the scorecard, and it's not going by what has happened in the region. In Burkina Faso, yes, but particularly Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea. I think it should be a relief for West Africa. But in everything, there is always room for improvement. By Ghana standard, they didn't, go above, punch above what they used to do. But there is always a tomorrow. And for the two people, this is the third time they are meeting. Now it is 2-1. Akufo-Addo 2, Mahama won. So I think, and for Akufo-Addo, he is not running again. He's 76, and even by constitutional provision, he cannot go again. Mahama, 62, perhaps he can wait it out and then try his luck again. So that is the situation. Blessing for Africa, and also something to improve upon.
Well, I think that the parliamentary elections are particularly interesting because Ghanaians were talking about what they call skirt and blouse voting. And what they mean by that is that, look, the average voter in Ghana is interested in performance. And if you don't perform as a parliamentarian, then you'll be voted out. And over 100, in fact, a total of 111 parliamentarians lost their seats. For me, that's also an interesting development. But if you look at the margin, even with the outstanding 128,000 votes from the remaining region, the margin is still very close, just about 500 votes. What is it that John Mahama should have done differently? Because I've read a commentary indicating that he made a mistake by choosing a woman as his vice presidential candidate. Should that be a big issue? Shouldn't that be positive? And then, of course, what do you think got the victory for President Nana Akufo-Addo?
Starting with Mahama, I don't think the choice of a woman vice president was the drag in, why he didn't make it. After all, gender sensitivity and gender mainstreaming is the internet. After all, there were 3 female presidential candidates, including the widow of late Flight Lieutenant. Yeah. So, and it should be encouraged. Women should be encouraged. I know my sister there will be happy to say, after all, by the way, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first elected African woman, was the head of the ECOWAS election mission there. So there is something there for women. I don't think we should now say that it was because he chose a woman that was why he lost. There are so many imponderables there. Ghanaians, they are complicated, even as complicated as Nigerians. We are rivals in everything, in coup, in, Ghana must go, and then recent rivalry over trade and all that, and closure of border. So it is not that. I think there are other issues. And by the way, I think if this was a referendum on Akufo-Addo, I think Mahama did better because the two regimes were really accused of. There were allegations of corruption taking place. In fact, there was one about dollar for seat that corporate organizations, if you had to pay dollars to get a sitting position close to the president. So corruption was an issue. And the fact that the anti-corruption prosecutor appointed by, for this government resigned 3 weeks to the election, saying, citing political interference. So Nana could point to the fact that he promised and delivered free education at higher level. That is that. But unemployment is raging. The other thing is that under Mahama there was energy crisis, electricity issue, but that has stabilized. But it's not Uhuru yet. Unemployment is there, and the fact that and again there's this issue of a vigilante armed group, private group that you saw some of them play out, and the allegation is that they are working on, they are government agents muzzling opposition. That if you are against the government, they will come after you. That is the reason perhaps the media is not as vocal as they have been or ought to be, and so because people were afraid. I hope that will be lifted. Since he's no longer, he will not be seeking for a third term. There should be freedom which wasn't there. If you ask Ghanaians, those who were willing to talk, who had the courage to speak, I think that is one area that infrastructure, roads and all that, social amenities. That is the area that this the government ought to move. Mahama, he tried his best. In fact, some people were saying, well, that his regime was better. But from all indications, the people of Ghana have spoken, and they have given the mandate once again to Nana Akufo-Addo, who, by the way, is also the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State. I hope he will now use this second term to stabilize Ghana, improve on areas of his deficiency, and then also work on regional integration.
Well, I'm about to ask you about women. So Ghana's parliament is way advanced compared to Nigeria's. They had 35 women out of 275, and we have a paltry 11 out of 360 in the House of Reps. Were women able to make any gains? That's my first question. My second question, with regard to voter turnout, you said 79%. That is staggering compared to Nigeria's 35%, miserable, paltry 35% in the last election. And while I want to bemoan voter apathy, I really am restrained by the reality of electoral and post-electoral violence. Is this one of the reasons that Nigerians don't turn out to the polls? The election before that, was it not 44%? We have very low rates of participation.
Well, again, we are dealing, if you talk in terms of demography and also population, we are Nigerians 200 million, Ghanaians 31 million. So that alone could be a drag. But the other thing is that, again, I think Nigerians, they feel alienated. There is the mistrust between government and the governed. And so that explains, for me, that will explain the high level of apathy that you find in Nigeria. Nigerians really don't care. I don't think they care about who is there. If you can provide the basic things that they need, bring electricity, bring water, give them jobs, and make Nigerians can that's why we are everywhere. We can survive. We are survivalists. We are resilient. And so we can forget government and do what we have to do. But in Ghana, well, their number, they have to depend on, the government to do a lot of things for them. But also emulating Nigeria. Some of them will, part of what is happening, the rivalry is out of jealousy. I hope my Ghanaian brothers will understand that. But for women, I think women, there was a marginal gain here. But I also, Nana, the wife of Rollins, that's the second time she's coming. The last time she got 0.6%, and this time is almost the same thing. It means that, and all the other 10 candidates put together, none of them got up to 1%. So it is a movement towards a two-party system, which you find everywhere. Women are being encouraged. I told you 3 presidential candidates, and these were, achievers in their own right. A farmer, a professor, and so on. And then Mahama also had a woman, a former minister, and a professor of literature as his running mate. They didn't make it, but I think they can still give it a shot. So it is about governance, not government. People mistake the two. Governance speaks to what you can bring, how able you are. You can take care of the welfare of the people. Government is about people, maybe about those you choose, cabinet, those you bring to govern. Some of them will not deliver, others might deliver, but referendum is on the whole government, and the man who is the president, the buck stops at his table. So there is a learning process. There is still work in progress, both in Ghana and West Africa and Africa as a whole. By the way, see what is happening in the United States. And then a very old democracy they claim to be. But from what is happening now, I think everybody is a student of
well,
democracy.
let's hope that the NDC will not go ahead and challenge the results in court, because President Mahama has been saying his party will resist any attempt to subvert the sovereignty of the people. And up to now, he has not yet congratulated President Mahama. Anyway, President Akufo-Addo. But let's see what happens as we monitor post-election developments in Ghana. Thank you very much, Paul Ejime, for joining us on The Morning Show.